Well, welcome everybody to the Family Biz Show. I'm your host, Michael Columbus with Family Wealth and Legacy in Rochester, New York. And we have a very interesting show for you today. We're going to be talking about the Popeye Plan for family business succession and business owner transition planning with Gary Shepard. Gary, welcome.
Thank you, Michael. Appreciate your time.
So, Gary, we have a little bit of a tradition here where we just ask people, what was your journey? How did you get to where you are today? And then we'll dive into this topic. I find it interesting, that most people's paths as we're going through life usually isn't a straight line from one place to another. I do find them, and I find those people interesting too. But I know mine was a pretty crooked path to get here, twists and turns. How about yourself?
I think we all share that in common. How far back do you want me to go?
Whatever works for you.
All right. Let's just start. When I got out of college, I have a degree in education, and I was going to teach school. I had a double major when I was in college, so I could have taught a whole plethora of stuff. The problem was I also enjoyed school a lot and ended up graduating in December. And if you're a school teacher and you graduate in December, then all the jobs are done. So I had to find something to do before the next school year. And so I went to a recruiter, and the person said, well, I've got this job for you. And it was selling property and casualty insurance. And I had never sold anything in my life, didn't see myself as a salesman. And so I said, sure, what the heck. Did that for, the period of time where I thought it was going to take before I went back to school, and found I actually enjoyed it, and kept at it for a little bit. Until such time as I realized property and casualty wasn't where I wanted to be. I ran into somebody who was in the insurance business, the life insurance business. I joined him, and we did that for a while. And then ran across Connecticut General Life Insurance Company, and one of the first people that impacted my life. He brought me over to the company. That was, a long time ago, pushing, almost 50 years now. And so I struggled early on in my career, but they recognized they saw something that I didn't see, and decided to stash me out on management back then, because I had those teaching genes apparently. And so I was in management for a while, and then the assistant manager or the manager said, okay, you're going to have to be able to produce to certain levels in order to stay on there. And that was the motivation I needed. And one thing led to another. And fast forward many, many years after that, I became the regional chief executive officer for Lincoln SageMark here in basically Richmond to the ocean, because I was in Washington. There was an opportunity there. And I did that for a while. But frankly, the company was going through a lot of transition back then, and they were taking away control at the organizational level back to the home office. So I went back into personal production in 2010 or so. Had a partner for a little while, and then that was not obviously something that was going to work over time. Yet another transition to go through. I started Shepard Financial Group as a result of the ending of that partnership, and then effectively decided that with all of the things that were going on in the wealth world these days, you needed to have something that was more or less protected from commoditization. And we'd always had a terrific opportunity and some success working in what I defined as the emerging mid-market space, which for us down here is professional businesses between $500,000 on a really low side and $5 million, and then operational businesses, again, between $2 million and $20 million. And in the Hampton Roads area where I'm at, there's a ton of those folks. We can talk about the characteristics and why I did that. But then I decided that we were going to specialize in succession and transition because that's the kind of thing that you really can't commoditize like you can a wealth management program or something of that nature. They need us and our specific expertise. And so that's how we transitioned, or how I transitioned the firm. I have a number of folks that work with us in terms of strategic partners, and a number of folks on staff that help us to deal with it. But that's where we're focusing now, and that's how we got to the Popeye plan, which I'm sure we'll talk about here shortly. But that's my journey.
I love it. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate that.
No problem.